World Environment Day is observed to inspire worldwide awareness and action to protect our environment. The theme for the World Environment Day 2021 is ecosystem restoration. Health crisis of COVID-19 has prompted us to rethink about our relationship with nature. Ecosystem restoration can take up many forms like growing trees, greening cities, changing diets, or cleaning up rivers and coast. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, in his address to Columbia University, said, "Humanity is waging a war on nature. This is suicidal, and nature always strikes back. We are facing a devastating pandemic, new heights of global heating, new lows of ecological degradation, and new setbacks in our work towards global goals for more equitable, inclusive, and sustainable development." To put it simply, he said, the planet is broken. We must heal the planet. This means we need to run towards saving the environment before running towards our survival battle. We know that our biodiversity is collapsing. Ecosystems are disappearing, wetlands are being lost, oceans are overfished and choking with the plastic waste. 1 million species are at the risk of extinction. Every year we lose 10 million hectares of forest. The world's average temperature is rising due to the greenhouse effect caused by increasing levels of greenhouse gases, especially carbon dioxide. Air and water pollution are killing 9 million people annually, which is more than 6 times the current toll of the pandemic. Many of the root causes of the climate change also increases the risk of pandemics. And with people and livestock encroaching further into animal habitats and disrupting wild spaces, we could see more viruses and other disease causing agents jumping from animals to humans. So, we need to remember that 75% of the new and emerging human infectious diseases are zoonotic. So, as the planet heats up, the animals, big and small, are headed towards the poles to get out of the heat. And they are coming into contact with other animals they normally wouldn't, and that creates an opportunity for pathogens to get into new hosts. Deforestation is another reason because the loss of habitat forces animals to migrate and potentially contact other animals and share germs. The Ebola epidemic in West Africa probably occurred in part because bats, which carried the disease, has been forced to move into new habitats because the forest they used to live in had been cut down to grow palm oil trees. Coming to the Indian context, a study in the journal Earth System Dynamics says India is ranked as the seventh worst hit country in terms of climate change in 2019. And 8 states, all towards the India's eastern part, are highly vulnerable to climate change. And the reasons they are putting are aerosol emissions, glacier meltings in the Himalayas. For every degree Celsius of warming, monsoon rainfalls will likely to increase by about 5%. The greenhouse gas induced warming has played a massive role in making monsoon seasons more volatile. We know that too much rainfall can damage the crops, and with more wet years in the future, it can damage our economy and affect our agricultural practices. A British American study published in the Science Brief Review says there could be 5% increase in the maximum cyclonic wind speeds if the world is warmed by 2 degrees centigrade. And we know the intensity of tropical cyclones are increasing and destroying our coastal areas, decreasing the soil fertility and corroding buildings. For example, we have seen this effect in the coastal belt of Kerala. Many buildings have been collapsed. To add to the misery, the amount of rainfall carried by the storms might also increase by an average of 14% due to the warming fueled increase in moisture in the atmosphere, which can cause more intense floods. It is proved that slow moving storms generally carry more rainfall. A research paper published in the India Meteorological Department in 2015 says that in the Indian Ocean, the chances of cyclonic disturbances on the sea surface, known as low pressure areas, are transforming into cyclones. They have increased in the Arabian Sea as well as in the Bay of Bengal. According to the research, a northward shift of the tropical rain belt over the eastern Africa and the Indian Ocean could result in intensified flooding in southern India and may impact our global biodiversity and food security by 2100. Scientists have previously calculated that carbon dioxide emissions fell by 7% during the full year 2020 as people stayed at home because of the pandemic. But numbers are increasing as we are returning to the carbon intensive business as usual now. Another study done by the Harvard University in 2019 regarding the exposure to air pollution and COVID-19 mortality in US found that a small increase in long-term exposure to air pollution leads to a large increase in COVID-19 death rate. And we know that in 2018, the globally average concentration of carbon dioxide were measured as 411 parts per million. And we are also adding another 3 plus carbon ppm every year to the atmosphere as global economy and the world population grows. So that this may result in, if the global carbon emission levels come to the final catastrophic tipping level of 600 ppm, this will result in the sixth mass extinction of humanity. So that means 70 to 90% of the world's total population will die within as little as 30 to 50 years. So we know that mass extinction is not new to either evolution or nature. There have been 5 previous mass extinction events. So now we have to think about what are the preventive measures. And the scientists are saying that the world needs to decrease the fossil fuel production by roughly 6% every year between now and 2030. And quoting the words of UN Secretary General, there was a ray of hope in the form of a COVID-19 vaccine for this pandemic, but there is no vaccine for planet. So nature needs a bailout. In overcoming the pandemic, we can also avert climate catalysm and restore our planet. Addressing the climate emergency, he pointed out 3 imperatives. And first, we need to achieve global carbon neutrality within the next 3 decades. Second, we have to align global finance behind the Paris Agreement, the world's blueprint for climate action. Third, we must deliver a breakthrough on adaptation to protect the world and especially the most vulnerable people and countries for climate impacts. And we know that a few positive moves have been taken by about 110 countries to commit to carbon neutrality by 2050. So there is an urgent need for generating environmental awareness because awareness leads to analysis of issues and analysis promotes action. So thinking and discussing on the environmental issues is not enough. The time has come to move forward and undertake actions to protect the environment. And India could be among the worst victims of global warming. Already the melting of Himalayan glaciers have impacted the country. So think globally and act locally. So what actions we can take to prevent future outbreaks and save our planet? So we need to take a climate action to prevent the next pandemic. For example, to combat climate change, we need to drastically decrease the greenhouse gas emissions. Reducing air pollution caused by burning fuels help to keep our lungs healthy, which can protect us from respiratory infections like coronavirus. And we need to prevent deforestation, which is the root cause of climate change. This can help biodiversity loss as well as slow animal migrations that can increase the risk of infectious disease spread. Another thing is we need to control the illegal wildlife trade, which is also very, very important. Then generating electricity from low carbon energy sources like wind and solar, which decreases harmful air pollutants that lead to many diseases. That is another option. So power your home with renewable energy like solar, wind, etc. Make our spaces more energy efficient because heating and air conditioning account for almost half of the energy use. We can invest in energy efficient appliances. So when you are going for shopping for the refrigerators or washing machines or other appliances, look for the Energy Star label. Reduce our water waste. Saving water reduces carbon pollution too. That's because it takes a lot of energy to pump, heat and treat your water. So take shorter showers and turn off the tap always. Buy locally available food and consume less of meat. Approximately 10% of the energy use goes into growing, processing, packaging and shipping food. Then buy better bulbs like LED bulbs which can use up to 80% less energy than conventional ones, and pull the plugs and adjust your computers and monitors to automatically power down to the lowest power mode when not in use. Drive a fuel efficient vehicle, that is another option. So go for gas smart cars such as hybrids and fully electric vehicles that save fuel and money. Use public transport because choosing to live in walkable smart growth cities and towns with the quality public transportation leads to less driving, less money spent on fuel and less pollution in the air. So our mission should be to protect the environment for a sustainable human society. So it is our duty to save the green and blue before the future generation has to paint everything black. Thank you.